think for me, the hardest lesson that I have learned as an ed so far is it's really tough being an introvert, Ned. I feel I have to work harder in demonstrating my value, given that I don't talk as much, especially if it's an area or topic that I'm not familiar with. And also, I need to feel psychologically safe. And it takes me a while to figure out, am I safe in this space? So that's been very, very hard lesson for me learning as a NED. But on the other hand, I realized that for me, being on a board where I have a high level of knowledge about the organization and its operation is more suited to me rather than seeking out those roles in territories that I'm not familiar with. I have learned that I am strongly suited to roles where I speak on patient issues and lived experience. And the funny thing was when I started out in my NED role, I said, I don't want to do that. Not interested in that. I've been doing that for a long time. I don't want to do it. But actually, that is me. That is what comes naturally to me. And I do it very well. I'm respected for my expertise in that area and I'm asked to contribute in that area. And it took me a while to accept that. And also, I've also learned as well that NED roles are not necessarily on boards. They might be on committees, advisory groups, forums, panels, etc. At the beginning, I was looking for that only non-executive director role, but actually, it's only two of my roles in my portfolio that is non-executive director. The others are members of committees and advisory groups and forums, etc. And I realized that that is my expertise. That is where I belong. That is where I bring the most value. And that was a hard lesson for me because I didn't want to accept it. But when I did, I started thriving and shining. And then I sought out those roles. So
That's an
net
interesting
role,
one.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Net
actually,
roles are
it's
not
not
only on
just,
sports, yes,
yeah, that kind of advisory, um, committee, those kinds of roles alongside NED roles. It's
yeah,
something to think about as well.
absolutely.
Okay. So was there a moment that made you feel like you were out of your depth or kind of how did
Mm.
you manage to move through it?
Many times I felt out of depth, I'm not going to lie, many times. And it was all to do with imposter syndrome. And the way that I moved through it, and I am still moving through it, is by networking with other people. And when I started networking, I realized that I wasn't alone in this because I don't know why I thought I was the only person in the whole world that struggled with imposter syndrome. But then I did some inner work and I reflected and identified areas that I needed improvement on. And then I invested in myself. And one of the investments that I did was taking a public speaking course. And that has greatly helped me to speak up in boardrooms, to chair meetings, and to do it confidently. And also now I constantly believe in myself and I'm kind to myself. And I learn from my mistakes and move on. And I had to learn to stop focusing on my mistakes. Yes, I made a mistake. Take the learning from it, keep it moving. And that is still something that I'm working on, but I'm getting better at it every day because we are going to make mistakes. That's how we learn. If you don't make
Yeah.
mistakes, you don't learn.
Yeah.
So embrace it.
Yeah, it's important. How can Black women build board level confidence before they've ever been appointed to a board?
Wow. I didn't build board level confidence before I was appointed. I told myself I'll cross that bridge when I get there. And this actually brings to mind what Michelle Obama said during her book tour in London. I think it was in 2018. So the former floaters, First Lady of the United States said, I have been probably at every powerful table that you can think of. And I've worked at non-profits, at foundations and corporations and served on corporate boards. And I've been at G summits and I've sat at the UN. And she said, they are not that smart. She did clarify to say, look, she's not saying that those spaces didn't have talented people. It's just that their ideas are not necessarily more exciting or they are not better at solving problems. And they just do a lot of things to keep their seat and to hold on to the power because they don't want to share it. And that, I thought, yeah, that's been my experience when I was working as a program manager. I've been in many meetings, many spaces, and yeah, some people, they're not necessarily smart. They've just been given that position and, and they just winging it. So I would say to you, I wish I could give you a list to say, right, this is how you build board level confidence. And I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but be your authentic self, give your best, and you will make mistakes, learn from it, but also believe in the value you bring and in your expertise and in your authenticity. Because as the former floaters said, they're not that smart. They're not smarter than you. And like my mom says, they don't have two heads. They've got the same one head that you've got. So, you belong there. You've got something in you. Do you believe that what you have would be valuable to them? And that's all I
So,
can say.
yeah, that's very good advice. It's very good advice. So, if I've listened to your conversation, Ruth, and I'm kind of energized, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I would like to take a NED role, what are some of the indicators
Hmm.
that tell a woman that she's ready or almost ready for a NED role?
I wish there was a readiness checklist somewhere, but I'm not aware of it. All I will say to you is you want to be in it, go and make it happen. If you are feeling dissatisfied with where you currently are and you feel being a NED is the next step for you, then work towards it. If you want to broaden your experience and want to be included in discussion and decision making at that NED level, which is what I wanted, then work towards it and make it a reality. If I want to make a checklist, or if I was to put an indicator list together, it would be know what you want, know why you want it, list the different routes to getting it. Remember, I said it doesn't have to be a non-executive director role. It could be a member of a committee, an advisory board, independent member of a panel, etc. List all of the different opportunities. Work smart, not harder, and network like a pro. And most important, don't give up.
You. So, what can women start doing now to become leg ready? What are some of the little steps, the
Hmm,
little kind of movements and changes that you can start to make to move towards
yeah.
that goal?
I would say attend board meetings. The great thing now is, I don't know about the private sector, but I do know public sector board meetings are made public. So some of them you can attend online, some of them you can attend in person. So seek those organizations that you are interested in, attend the board meetings. And then when you do attend, work up the courage to ask questions. So at the end, when they go, right, does any member of the public have a question? Ask a question because then people remember you. And I don't know if the others do this, but I know for my local hospital trust, I do try and attend their board meetings whenever I can. They don't have it online, they have it in person. And during the break, don't keep to yourself, network with the other, go and speak to them. Hi, oh, you said something that really resonated with me. So I would say definitely attend because then you get comfortable with being in those spaces. You get familiar with how board etiquette and board governance operates. You get familiar with the papers. I remember when I was, getting myself ready and attending board meetings and I downloaded the papers, I was like, oh my God, why are there 500 pages of papers, to go through? So you get comfortable with things like that. Also, expand your knowledge, research, upskill, join groups. That really, really helped me. So I sought out courses that I could do on, how to be an effective non-executive director, etc. I researched the legal obligations, of boards and NEDs, etc. And then I just network. Networking was something that I was absolutely crap at doing and terrified. And I only started doing it 2 years ago. And I keep kicking myself thinking, oh, if I started a lot earlier, look at all the progress I've made in the past 2 years. So that's what I would advise women. So attend board meetings, expand your knowledge, research, upskill, join groups, and network. And that would make you very board NED ready. And also increase your visibility as well.
Yeah,
That's really
that's very
important.
important. Yeah, I agree. It's very important. So if you've done all the hard work and you've landed the role, what red flags should women look out for before accepting the board position?
Hmm. For me, I would say, what's your intuition telling you? So listen to your intuition. Also, have a look online. What is being said about this organization online? So look at their social media profile, past media, press reports, etc. Look at their competitors. What are their competitors saying about them? And also, for me, I like to look at the company values. Does it align with my values? And also look at the communication style and level of professionality in terms of how that organization liaised and communicated with you during the recruitment process. Where all the emails very abrupt and very rude, and during the interview where they just so aggressive, and things like that will tell you, do I see myself in this space? Do I feel I can belong and live the values and be embedded into the culture? Is the culture suitable for me? What are other people saying about them online? So don't just focus on LinkedIn. If they're on Facebook, X, whatever, do a bit of search, hashtags, etc. What has been said, what's been said by their customers, their competitors, that's not being said in the boardroom. And is there smoke about them out there? And always remember, there's no smoke without fire. And those are the kind of red flags that I would look for before making a decision whether to accept a role or not.
Very good advice. I think after listening to everything that you said today, you will have, a good idea as to whether a NED
Yeah.
position is for you or not. I think I want to thank you for being so kind of open and honest and really sharing, a lot of the emotional journey that you go on when you decide to do something different or put yourself in a new situation. So what do you hope Black women take away from this conversation?
I really, really hope they take away that they are truly remarkable. They are very intelligent and that they belong in every space. And we don't need to beg to be given access. We can create our own space. I really, really hope that every Black woman that listens to this take that away from this conversation. We are truly remarkable. I made a post on in another group that I belong to last week to say I had conversations with two Black women who were sharing with me their ideas and their projects, etc. And they wanted me to be involved. And after that conversation, I wanted to go on my roof and scream, Black women are amazing, because they were truly remarkable and amazing. So, you know, if nobody has told you, you are remarkable, you are amazing, you are intelligent, you belong, and you do not need to beg. Go and create that space.
Thank you very much.